Well, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I've been intrigued by some of the stuff that I've seen on social media over the last week or two with the Carnival and all these things that you guys do. Talk about why you do stuff like that.
Well, I mean, we work really hard, and these guys work really hard. And, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that they love what they do, but let's have some fun doing this thing. So, they grind it out, they work. And it wasn't like, say, hey, if we didn't work hard on the other 3 Wednesdays, we were just going to go out there and have fun. But they worked their tails off. They had great attitudes, and then so we want to have some fun and do some different things, and that just kind of is one of those opportunities right there that's kind of unique in the morning. But there's still some other things you learn from it, the competition side of things, and sometimes they even get to see us in a little bit of a different light as well. So we got to have a good balance in everything we do, and I think having fun and trying to have some other situations where we can create some fun is important for our culture.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Well, Brady and his guys are pretty creative. So, Coach, the strength staff has that creativity. I'm not the creativity mind by any means. Now, we kind of go around about. But the great thing about this one was nobody knew. I mean, not a single coach knew. Some of those guys started asking, and say, "Hey, what are we doing on Wednesday morning?" Hey, we're gonna go out there and work. So sometimes it leaks out at in different situations, and we kind of learned that we're going to keep this thing in tight. But mostly the strength coaches come up with a lot of these interesting different ideas, the creativity behind a lot of things.
Is there a recruiting element to that to show future Bearcats?
You know what? That's one of those things that I don't think as much about. Then all of a sudden you see a video and you say, hey, I want to make sure that they do see the light of what it is that we're doing. We work really hard. We have incredible expectations. We're going to grind it out, but we're going to have some fun doing it as well. And nobody's off limits, as you probably could see. And you got to put yourself out there sometimes too. So I think that all in all, the more that you're around it, the people around it, whether it's recruiting our own guys, the community, they'll realize, we not only work hard, we play hard, and we have a good time doing it.
Has Mick asked you to borrow James Wiggins for senior day tomorrow after that dunk contest?
No, I don't know if he's seen it. I'm sure he's got plenty of guys that can dunk, but it's pretty special. I mean, I think we actually had to cut him off because he was going to do another one where he was jumping over a guy and pushed up and missed the dunk, and we were like, no, we're done. He's not used to landing those things like those guys are on a daily basis, but they're better at dunking than they are doing anything else on the basketball court, I can assure you.
You talked about the culture. Does seeing how that came to fruition last season change your approach here in spring ball this year?
Well, I think that it doesn't change what we want to do and what we want to be, but I think you got to continue to evaluate your program. And we're in a different spot than we were last year. And we talked to him about it. Last year we had 3.5-hour practices because we didn't have a bowl practice. We didn't have a lot of that prep. We had a lot of things we needed to do on the football field. Not to say, hey, well, you guys only went 2 hours and 13 minutes today. Well, no, it's because we're at a different stage of what it is that we need to do. Now, the efficiency was really good, the intensity was really good, and that's what's most important to me right now.
I feel like there's a lot less of having to maybe stop and explain things. Obviously, it's a first day.
There is. I mean, guys understand what it is they're doing. They're examples to what it is that they're doing. We don't want them to be too comfortable, so we still adjust and change things. As you can see, the script of how things go is a little bit different if when we do tempos and different things like that, to always keep them not sure exactly, so a little bit of that having to make them use their minds in some different ways. But I think that the important thing for us is to know where we are as a football team and what we need to get where we want to go.
Going off what Justin said, just can you feel the buzz from this group, the excitement after what you guys were able to accomplish last year? You can feel a different mindset here, right?
We do, and I think that we talked to him about it. I talked to him about it before we went into this phase 3. We started spring ball. There's not a whole lot of teams that that won 11-2, but also finished the game the season the way we did. The two greatest seasons that I can remember here, obviously the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl, great years, 12-1, 11-3, or whatever it was. You end with a loss as well. And I know I'm not comparing who we played and things like that, but the momentum you can get from the way you finish a season, it carries you into winter and into spring. I think we got to continue to build upon that.
You discussed the addition of James Hudson.
Yeah, there's a couple of new additions out there with James Hudson and Beavers from Coleraine and Brian Cook from Mount Healthy. We don't know exactly where we are with those guys as we go into fall. But we know we're going to prepare them and get them ready and have a high expectation for them. Hopefully they'll be there for us.
You've got a lot of talent at running back and wide receiver in terms of depth as well. How do you figure out a way to get all those guys involved and spread them around?
I think the key is healthy competition. And that's one of the emphasis for us, to create healthy competition, and that means guys that care about one another, that respect, trust, and love within that unit group, that aren't bitter about, hey, who got the most reps today, who's getting the opportunities, but can create that competition to make them all better. And we just got to find a way to get our best 11 guys on the field, whether it's offense or defense, and I think that's where kind of the focus for us is going to be with a lot of those, whether running backs, whether tight ends, whether wide receivers. Who's the best 11?
Josh Wiley looks bigger, took advantage of the time that he had to beef up a little bit.
He did, and his knowledge of the game and doing some different things is, I think, where his growth is going to continue. And it's a big spring for him. I mean, he missed 7 weeks there in the season, still got the opportunity to play in those 4 games. He wouldn't have been a redshirt guy had he not gotten hurt, but this gives him an opportunity to take that other step. And he still needs some experience of playing and doing some different things, but this is going to be an exciting spring for him.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.